Hello, in this video, I am going to talk about can you recover from depersonalization or derealization without medication? I'm also going to go into some of the types of medications that people take and sort of what they do and whether it's possible to be able to overcome it without taking these medications. And what I need to say right at the beginning, which is really important, is that I'm not a doctor. So I'm not qualified to be able to tell you whether you should or whether you shouldn't take medication. So if you are taking it or if you aren't taking it, then continue to do that same thing unless you talk to your doctor about wanting to change it in any way. Before we actually look at the question of can you overcome DPDR without medication, we really need to look at what the reason is that you're getting DPR or DPTR in the first place. And the big reason for this is generally considered to be anxiety. So what's actually happening is your anxiety is sensing some kind of threat to your body. So your mind is sensing some kind of threat. And it's sort of detaching yourself from either yourself or your surroundings in order to protect you from this perceived threat that it sees. So the issue is when this goes on for a long time. And one of the problems that people do face when they have DPDR is that they might realize that the anxiety is the issue, but they're wondering, why am I even getting anxious right now? Like, what is the perceived threat that I've got to protect myself from? And actually having the sensations that come along with depersonalization or derealization actually can make you more anxious because you do get the existential thoughts and the thoughts do start spinning and you start questioning everything and you have flashbacks or you're seeing things in a different way or whatever it is, which can actually perpetuate the anxiety. So it almost has the opposite effect. So it's like, what the heck's going on here? So let's get into the question of can you recover from DPDR without medication, and stick around to the end because I'm going to give you a little bit of a brief overview about talk therapy and how that helps and what all that is about. We know that one of the main root causes of your dissociation is to do with anxiety. So typically people will prescribe anxiety medication. So let's have a look at the types of anxiety medication there are. So there's one type which is called benzodiazepines, which are essentially some form of tranquilizer. And some of the more common ones are Xanax, Clonopin, Valium, and Ativan. With these drugs, they do work quickly, typically within 30 minutes to an hour, but they are addictive if taken long term. So most, sort of the medical literature on this says that they aren't an effective long-term treatment for this. And how they work is they slow down the nervous system, helping you relax mentally and physically. Another type of anxiety medication is called SSRI antidepressants, which are more typically used for depression, but they can actually be used for anxiety. And SSRI stands for selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. And basically what they do is they give your brain more serotonin. And some examples are Prozac, Zoloft, and Paxil. With these medications, they generally take 4 to 6 weeks to begin to work. So what this means is that they can't be taken as needed. So for example, if you're having a panic attack, you can't just take a Prozac and then it's going to sort of calm you down because it takes a long time for it to build up in your body to have any type of effect. At this stage, you can probably see that these types of medications are going to help with your DPDR in terms of they're going to help you with the symptoms of it while you recover from the actual condition that you've got. But it's sort of generally considered that these aren't a cure. They're not going to actually cure anything. They're just going to cover it up. And it's said that the best way to treat dissociation DPDR is through talk therapy. So let's have a look at some of the different types of talk therapy. There's psychology, there's psychiatry, there's counseling, there's coaching, which is what I do, and I specialize in neurocoaching, which is all about how the brain works. There's also hypnotherapy and RTT, rapid transformational therapy, and there's a few others as well, which I haven't listed here. The reason that talk therapy is so good with treating DPDR is because therapy gets to the core reasons you feel anxious and helps you overcome them. So all the drugs that you can take, they'll help cover up the anxiety, but the drugs will never ever tell you why you're being anxious in the first place. So that's where therapy comes in. And of course, once the anxiety is gone, the DPDR will also go. So essentially, medications aren't a cure, but they can help. To answer the question of can you beat DPDR without medication, the answer is an absolute yes. You don't need medication to be able to overcome this, because talk therapy is such a strong thing and it's such a powerful thing that it's really going to get to the core issues of why you're anxious and be able to treat it. One of the great things medication can do, if you've had this conversation with your doctor, is it can really help you reduce the symptoms while you are having the talk therapy, which is really going to get to the core issues of what's actually going on here. This is great news for people who might be a little bit scared about taking medication, or it might go against their values or their principles, or for people who have been taking medication for a long time and they're finding that things just aren't improving. Knowing that that is help, and that help is in talk therapy, whether you speak to a psychologist, a psychiatrist, or me, or anybody who is a talk therapist, it's going to help you get through this no matter how long you have had it for. Even if you've had it for 10 years or 20 years, talk therapy is a great way to get to see what's ticking with your mind and see what's making you anxious and see what all these threats are about and what all these thoughts are about, and all this type of stuff. If you fix the anxiety and if you can treat the anxiety, then the DP and the DR is going to go away and you're going to get your life back and you're going to get your world back. So my friends, I really hope you've learned a little bit from this video. And if you have learned something, or if you've liked it, then give it a like and subscribe to my channel, because I do a lot of content on DPDR. And until next time, I hope you all have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.